My name is Lacey Kelly, and I'm the Executive Director of the Orange County League of Cities. Tomorrow, our legislature is set to consider a state budget package that constitutes one of the largest grades in local government funding in state history. This budget at once fails to provide funding for needed infrastructure that will create needed jobs to speed economic recovery, while at the same time eroding police and fire services that Californians rely upon every single day. Further, this legislature's plan to seize transit revenues and redevelopment funding is illegal, and similar efforts have been rebuffed in California courts twice this year. Together, this translates to a budget that is illegal, irresponsible, and illegitimate. Representing the 34 cities of Orange County, we are here today to let Orange County residents and the state elected officials know that these proposals impact our public safety and the quality of life of our citizens. With me today we have several elected officials from Orange County cities, and I would like to introduce the president of the Orange County Division League of Cities, Alan Songstad, who is also a council member for the city of Laguna Hills.
Thank you, Lacey. As you've heard, this budget is a disaster. As Dan Walters, who is a columnist for the Sacramento Bee, wrote yesterday, if California were a corporation, its officers would be in jail with Bernie Madoff and the executives of Enron. This budget will hit Orange County specifically for over $90 million, plus hits to individual cities. Among the specifics, the reckless borrowing of $1.9 billion of local property taxes need to finance police and fire services. Borrowing that will need to be repaid in 3 years when a state is already broke. Illegally taking $2 billion in local gas taxes. Those taxes are used to repair our streets, traffic signals, and power our street lights and reduce traffic hazards. Illegally taking $1.7 billion of local redevelopment funds that are used to remove blight, build affordable housing, and construct infrastructure in older urban areas. And illegally taking $739 million of public transit funds that are needed to keep millions of Californians off our roads and streets and highways. In short, as Lacey said, this is an irresponsible budget. This is a cut. These cuts are cuts that hit everyday Californians and what matters most to them on a daily basis. And what's most important to me, that's actually not the most important, but what's astounding to me, among many other things about this budget, it was created by 5 people in complete secrecy. That would be illegal if a local government were to do that. And yet that is the way the state does its business, in complete and total secrecy. Not only do they do it in secrecy, but they do it while flaunting California's laws. The raid on the Highway User Tax Fund is in violation of California law. This is a law that's not only just a law, this was a law that was put in place by the people of California. So we have an arrogant 5-person group, and perhaps a state legislature that is so arrogant that they believe that they can cut all of these local services and balance their budget theoretically through games and gimmicks. This is not the way California should be run. California has become a laughingstock in our nation. What used to be a proud state is now in ruins, and we need to fix it. As local officials, we will fight this budget in every way we can, including in lawsuits, and we will also take very careful note of all those who support this budget in the state legislature. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to welcome Jerry Amonte to the podium. Jerry is our incoming president for the Orange County Division League of Cities and also the mayor pro tem of the city of Tustin.
Thank you, Lacey. Thank you for coming. I echo the things that my colleagues have said about the irresponsibility of this budget, and I want you to know that it has real implications for real people in Orange County. In my city, we face the same economic concerns the state does. We've seen the same softening of property taxes and sales taxes that they're experiencing. We made the tough choices we had to make, and a few weeks ago passed a balanced budget that cut $3.6 million out of a $39 million operating budget. This hit, once it comes, if it passes tomorrow from the legislature, will make us make another $7.6 million worth of reductions in this fiscal year, more than double what we already cut to address the issues of the economy. And why are we doing that? Because their accounting tricks aren't enough. What accounting tricks? Well, let's take, for instance, the idea that they won't pay their salaries to state employees on June 30th of next year. They'll pay them on July 1 to shove it into the 2010-11 fiscal year. That kind of trickery. It's that kind of trickery that's been going on budget after budget after budget. They won't deal with their own economic woes. They want to balance their budgets on the backs of local taxpayers. That's as though you can't pay your mortgage or your credit card bills, so you go to your neighbor and say, I'm going to steal from you to meet my obligations. Then they say, well, we'll give you an opportunity to use future tax increment from redevelopment associations to borrow for us. Why? The state has a credit rating somewhere subterranean below every other state in the nation and can't go to the credit markets anymore. So it says to local government, we'll just steal from you. You borrow on your credit card to backfill what we took. It's time for citizens in this state to turn to their legislators and say, you have to do what my colleagues and I do in local government. Balance your budget on your own income. The same way California families do, the same way cities do, the same way police departments, fire departments, and special districts do. You do that, the state of California. Don't borrow from us anymore. I've never known an economy in debt improved by getting itself further in debt. This needs to stop, and we intend, as Alan Songstad said, to sue if necessary to stop it.